Hey guys, it's Kevin Purcell for Notebooks.com, and I want to show you the HP Pavilion DV4T. This is kind of a budget, all-rounder kind of laptop. Starts out about $500, and HP sent me over one, and then right after they sent it, they upgraded it to an Intel Core i5 processor. So the one I reviewed has the Core i3, but they've bumped the specs just a bit. It's got a 500 gigabyte hard drive as the baseline model, 5400 RPM model, and some Intel HD 3000 graphics. As you can see, it's got a 14-inch screen and has 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's a fairly nice system for someone who wants just your basic computer. You might have to do a little bit of creative work on the side, but mainly you're just wanting something to handle, writing papers or writing reports for work, something like that. A little bit of internet surfing, those kinds of things. Now, as you can see, the cover has this somewhat attractive but very understated design. It's not going to wow anybody. Maybe 10 years ago this would have been a pretty awesome looking design, but now it seems pretty small and understated. Has a interesting aluminum metal accenting around, and when you open it up, you notice the back of it is slightly raised, so the shape is kind of interesting. It's got real strong and sturdy hinges, and so the overall design of the notebook is decent. I've been fairly impressed with it. This thing's not a speed demon, and it's not going to wow you with your performance and power, but it does a good job. I think for someone who's a student, it'll be a nice computer. It has a 6-cell battery, and my experience has been that while HP promises you 7.5 hours, I'm usually getting about 6 hours of a charge on it. The keyboard is the island style keyboard. Has a little bit of a mushy feel. I prefer a stiffer keyboard, but it's spaced well and feels all right. The trackpad when you compare it to other notebooks of this style and this quality, it's decent. It has sort of a grimy feel. I'm not really sure what the texture is. It just always felt dirty even after cleaning it. But it does have 2 split buttons for left and right, which I do like. I just wish that they would make these a little bit bigger. Apple, if you've used an Apple MacBook, they have really large trackpads. They're beautiful, they're perfect, but so PC trackpads kind of annoy me. The sound on it comes from the Altec Lansing speakers down here with a Dolby surround. Dolby high definition sound, not surround, but the speakers do a decent job. It's not great, but it does a decent job. Now, I've plugged it into headphones and an external speaker, and the sound is a whole lot better when you do that. But for basic tasks, it's going to do a decent job. All right, here we have the right side of the computer, and of course you get a DVD drive, your headphone, mic jack, a USB 2.0 port, and the charging port in it. Now let me show you the other side. All right, over here on the other side we've got the Kensington lock, and then we've got your vent. Sometimes when the machine's under pretty heavy power, you'll hear a lot of sound coming out of there from the fans. VGA port, gigabit Ethernet, HDMI, 2 USB ports, and then you've got your LED lights. This one shows the power, and this one shows your hard drive activity. And I've already shown you the front of it. Here on the back, you notice there's nothing. It's got a nice name. Here's your battery pack on here. The hinges, as I said before, they're pretty strong. All right, down here at the bottom, pretty standard. Here's your battery pack. This one housing comes off to reveal your hard drive, and then of course you can also change out the memory down here. Pretty standard. A couple more vents down here. All around, it's a nice computer. I think this is great. My son has a HP DV4T. It actually was my computer before. I used it for a lot of years before I got a MacBook. It's about almost 5 years old now, and unfortunately the screen just died about a month ago. So, lasting 5 years, that's pretty good. And so, I've thought seriously about maybe picking up one of these for him. He's about to go off to college next year. At the price, it's a really good value. You can upgrade it. You can get a faster hard drive. It also has a backlit keyboard available. You know, those two simple upgrades, and of course remember it's got a faster processor now. You know, for $600 or $700, this could be a really great system for someone going off to college. I think the sturdiness of it and my experience with HP laptops in the past, as long as he takes care of it, he could have that his whole college career. You know, I'm fairly impressed with it. I would say that I would really recommend it to family and friends who came to me and said, you know, I want a real basic laptop, nothing really powerful, nothing special, just something inexpensive that's going to last and do the job for me. And so this is something I would recommend to them. Notice here the screen on it. Here it is at about 50%. You notice that's plenty bright enough, so you can get some good battery life with the screen down. I really like my screens really bright, and I'm willing to sacrifice some battery life for it. But this one at 50%, it'll run well, and you won't have a whole lot of difficulty getting a good bright enough screen. It's crisp enough, the text is decent enough to be able to read. You'll notice that the viewing angle, it's not too bad. You could easily have a person sitting on either side of you and be able to see what's going on the screen. Text real well. It does have a glossy screen. I've got some overhead lights, so on camera you may not be able to see it too well. In a really, really bright room or outside, you're not going to want to use this computer because of the glossy screen on it. But for a budget laptop, that's all you can get these days. But this has been Kevin Purcell for Notebooks.com with the HP DV4T. And for my money, I would say I would give it a thumbs up. I like it. Thanks for watching.